The announcement always used to come to me via a phone call. But given the fact that I'm getting a little bit older and technology and things change, why now the announcement usually comes to me via an email. I must say I always preferred those good old days when people would pick up the phone and they would call me with this announcement: Father Steve, I'm getting married. And the reason I always liked the phone call to receive such an announcement rather than via email, or perhaps even worse yet, Facebook. Although thanks be to God, I'm not on that. But the beautiful thing about a phone call to receive such an announcement is, well, you can hear the joy, and you can hear the excitement, and you have a sense of the possibilities that lie ahead for this particular individual with the one they love. Father Steve, I'm getting married. Who doesn't love a good wedding, huh? An opportunity for you and I to gather together, to shed a few tears, and at the same time to laugh in abundance. Why, just a couple of days ago, a friend of mine, as I was visiting with him on the telephone, said, well, I suppose the wedding season is winding down. I said, yes, it is. He said, well, you must be delighted about that. I said, you know, actually, I love to do weddings. Even after 27 years of priesthood, I still love a good wedding. He said, yeah. He said, I don't mind them either, as long as it's not mine. Who doesn't love a good wedding? Because weddings are mountaintop experiences. You know, the mountaintop we heard of in today's first reading from the prophet Isaiah. On this mountain, we are told, God will provide you and I a feast of rich food and choice wines. On this mountain, all tears will be wiped from our faces. On this mountain, we shall see the Lord. On this mountain, the hand of the Lord rests with his people. Why, weddings are mountaintop experiences. You know what I mean by that, don't you? Why, certainly you do, because most of you gathered here today have entered into the sacrament of marriage, and so you know what I'm talking about, because love does strange and incredible things to you and I when we fall in love, when we recognize that our lives are now forever changed. There's something about marriage, there's something about the gift of love that elevates us. It helps us to see ourselves and other people in the world we live in a whole different way. You know, like climbing a mountain, or going up a big hill, or maybe even going up to the top of a tall building, a skyscraper perhaps. You and I have all had those experiences, and when you get to the top, wouldn't you agree with me, the view is incredible. The view is like nothing we've seen before, because the view enables you and I to see farther out and to see it from a whole different perspective. That's what love does. It elevates us, it transforms us, it opens our eyes, most importantly, it opens our hearts, and why, unbelievable things happen as a result of it. Yes, who doesn't love a good wedding? Come to the feast. Why, the King says to you and I today in our gospel passage, come to the feast. It's ready because, why, the King has put on a lavish feast and a banquet for his son who's going to get married. Who doesn't love a good wedding? It's an opportunity for you and I to gather at the table. It's an opportunity for you and I to have that mountaintop experience. And yet we realize that oftentimes, because of the manner and the way in which we live our lives, we fail We fail to seize those moments, those opportunities, those mountaintop experiences, those opportunities where love, once it's at the heart of it, enables you and I to do incredible things. Because for whatever reason, maybe we're stressed, maybe we lack time, maybe we are lacking patience, maybe we're not feeling well, but whatever it is, there are things that happen in our lives that prevent us from going to the mountain and doing the one thing that God wants you and I to do every single day. And what is the one thing? God wants you and I to marry his Son. That's the one thing that God wants you and I to do every single day. Because when we marry someone, we become united to them. When we marry the Son, the King's Son, why then we spend time with him, and why ultimately what ends up happening is we learn how to love from him, and we learn how to forgive from him, and we learn how to show compassion and mercy from him. But in order for you and I to do that, to have those mountaintop experiences, why we must first and foremost be ready to come to the feast and to be open to the possibility that is ours to love again in a new way. And then we come and we discover the feast is ready, and the garments are all there for you and I to put on, and it is, my friends, the garment of love. Paul speaks about it in every wedding ceremony practically that I've presided at, where the couple chooses 1 Corinthians chapter 12. Put on love, which binds the rest together and makes everything perfect. So we come to the feast today. We come to be united with the Son himself, to marry him again and he to us, so that in this union, love might truly flourish, that it might go out into our homes, into our schools, into the countryside, into the world in which we live, and it might transform it. It might make this world a place of light rather than darkness, a place of hope rather than despair, a place of forgiveness rather than revenge. So we come and we receive, and we partake in the feast, and we celebrate what we love to celebrate, a wedding.